Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go discussion video. Alright, so in my last Pokemon Go video, I talked about how the game director for Pokemon Go, Michael Steranka, gave an interview over to Eurogamer, and they talked about a bunch of future content coming to Pokemon Go. More specifically, Galarian Pokemon, as well as new Mega Evolutions, and they also talked about the avatar customization update and how they're taking all the feedback that they're getting and trying to make some positive changes. Overall, I felt very cautiously optimistic from that article. I did feel like Michael Steranka touched on a lot of things that players were concerned about, and it does seem like he has some plans in place to actually address some of those concerns. But there was one thing in that article that I did not touch on in my last video that I wanted to talk about here, because I do feel like it deserves its own video, mainly because for myself, I feel like this is something that Niantic needs to tap into because it is a lot of untapped potential when it comes to player engagement. And of course, I'm talking about gym battling. Gym battling, in my opinion, has needed a revamp for the past several years, and it's something that Niantic has neglected for such a very long time. Gym battling, by far, has the potential to drive so much player engagement when it comes to Pokemon Go, but Niantic has seemingly not seen that. Now, the reason why I believe this is because way back in the past when we had world leaderboards, a lot of players actually cared about doing gym battles. People would actively engage with every single gym within their area, not only because they want to get their free Pokecoins every single day, but it's because people were competing to get as many gold gym badges as they could, because it affected your world rankings. Now, as of right now, we do not have any more world rankings because the people who are running those world rankings no longer play Pokemon Go, at least to my knowledge. And I feel like because of that, a lot of players just do not feel incentivized to actually grind out gyms. And when it comes to your local gyms, chances are most of you already have most of them at gold anyway, and that's just naturally through playing the game. But I really feel like when players actually cared about getting as many gold gym badges as they could, that was something that drove a lot of engagement within every single Pokemon Go community. Not only were players fighting with each other to control different gyms, but people would coordinate with other players from their same team in order to take down gyms within a certain area, and they would actually engage in like gym takeovers and different things like that. A lot of that no longer exists in Pokemon Go, and I definitely feel its absence. If Niantic wants to drive a lot more player engagement from the Pokemon Go community, then what they really need to do is take a second look at the gym battling system. I don't necessarily think that the gym battling itself needs a change, but at least the incentives for getting gold gym badges is something that they should definitely look at. But of course, I think the first thing that they need to do is, from a technical standpoint, allow players to have more than 1,000 gyms at a time. I think that was something that was actually touched on within the article, and I'm really glad that Michael Steranka is at least vocally saying that they are actually looking into that, but it is very challenging from a technical standpoint, so I can understand. But yeah, I think that's the first place that they should start. They should at least allow you to have 5,000 gyms in your gym list, in my opinion, because for myself, I get 1,000 gyms very easily, and as I travel, going to different places, I usually come across a lot of new gyms, and those gyms will replace a lot of old gyms. So a lot of places that I visited way back when, which I don't plan to ever return to, a lot of those gyms are gone from my list, and I'm really sad about that. So I think this is the first place where Niantic should start. They should allow players to have more than 1,000 gyms on their list. That's just my personal opinion. But where do they go from there? I feel like what they need to do is add more incentives for getting gold gym badges, because as of right now, I think the only incentive for you to have a gold gym is that you get additional items when you spin the Pokestop of that gym. I think that's very bare bones if you ask me. There should be way more incentives, like the rate at which you can get Pokecoins is much higher, or maybe they could do something where you could have special benefits when you jump into a raid from a gym where you have it as gold. I really do not know what they could do, but there needs to be more incentives for players to grind out gold gym badges. If they add little things like that, then a lot more players will actually grind it out, and that's going to drive more player engagement. And then the third change that I would like to see with the current gym battling system, and this is very straightforward and something that would be a lot easier in my opinion, and that is to add an achievement badge that counts how many gyms you got to gold. I think that would be the simplest fix for how you can get a lot more players active with gym battling, because players will go for those achievement badges. They will try to get platinum on every single achievement, and one of them should count how many gold gym badges you have. That's definitely going to drive a lot of players to go out and farm as many gyms as possible, because they would want to work towards getting that badge to platinum, and that is almost a given. So I think that is something that Niantic could implement right away. Like, they could implement that in the next patch, and a lot of players would suddenly be driven to do a lot more gym battles. But I feel like Niantic has completely neglected gym battling, and for some reason or another, they feel completely satisfied with how gym battling currently is. I think that is a huge mistake, because there is a lot of untapped potential when it comes to gym battles. If Niantic were to see that potential and actually implement a lot of little changes to get players to be more active with gyms, then you're going to find that a lot more players are going to be actively engaging in Pokemon Go. Regardless if they have every single Pokemon, if there's nothing else in the game that excites them, at the very least, they're going to care about gym battling, and that is something that I feel like Niantic needs to take a second look at. So yeah, I'm just really glad that gym battling was mentioned within this article, because I feel like when it comes to the last several years, gym battling is something that never has come up when it comes to Niantic, and I really feel like I want to get that conversation going. On top of there being a gameplay rework that gym battling could need, I feel like at the very least, they need to do something where players are going to feel incentivized for getting gold gym badges. If they were to do that, it would breathe a lot of life into this game, and a lot more players would actually feel compelled to go out and play. And of course, it would be fully in line with their core philosophies, because players would be wanting to go out and explore. They would like to find new gyms to get to gold. They would be actively going out to their local gyms. Yeah, this is a win-win for Niantic, and I cannot understand why they haven't really thought about it in the past couple years. Maybe they have been and they just do not have anything concrete, or maybe they do have some seriously good plans and they just don't want to reveal it just yet. I really do not know what the case could be, but I really hope that the Pokemon Go community starts talking about gym battling a lot more, because it's the one aspect of Pokemon Go that has been neglected for such a long time. And I think the only way we could get it on Niantic's radar is if the community starts talking about it more and more. I might be a little bit more passionate about it, because back in the day, this was one of the most fun aspects of Pokemon Go that I feel like it no longer has. And I kind of want to go back to some of that gameplay, because when it comes to gym battling, it was a lot of fun. And on top of that, there needs to be some sort of rivalry between the teams again. I feel like as of right now, there really is no point in you being either Team Valor, Instinct, or Mystic. I think back in the day when there was actually like a rivalry between these three teams, that also created a lot of fun gameplay elements as well, and also created a lot of toxicity, which I don't think a lot of players enjoyed. But still, it was a fun part of Pokemon Go that we do not have anymore. So yeah, maybe Niantic could look into making that fun again. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share my thoughts regarding gym battling. Again, this is a part of the game that I feel like deserves a lot more love, and hopefully we could create a big discussion around gym battling so that Niantic could take a second look at this aspect of Pokemon Go. But let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Do you actually feel compelled to go out and do gym battles? Do you feel like it needs a revamp? What are some of the things you would like to see changed regarding gym battles? I would definitely like to know what those thoughts are, so make sure you share them in the comments and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you could do so is by joining my Patreon. And if you do so, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So when it comes to remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to interact with me in Pokemon Go, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and then we can go interact over there. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.